Hello, and welcome to Pages of Darkness, the storytelling channel where you can find creepypasta and true crime. Today we're going to be reading Looney's Beautiful Day. Let us begin. I was about to move out of my family's house, and my parents called me, so I asked them if they needed anything. They showed me an old box reading Luke's favorite cartoon. I quickly got a flashback of me when I was young watching my favorite cartoon, Looney's Wacky Adventures. I smiled while holding the box. My mom said, "Watch it one more time while we pack your things." I answered, "Sure, it wouldn't hurt to watch it again." I went to the basement and grabbed an old VHS player. I grabbed the VHS tape that read Looney's Beautiful Day. I went to my room and started to watch the episode. I waited for the intro of the episode to finish, and the episode started. It just shows Looney walking and smiling in a park, and then all of a sudden it started to get weird. It shows Looney walking into a forest, but he was still smiling, not even noticing the fact that he might be lost. It then showed Looney walking into an area that barely has any trees, and then I noticed something in the background. I pressed pause and looked closer. It looked like someone was hanging from the tree by their neck. I was speechless, and then without warning the TV turned static. I started to panic, and then I hear a faint laughter that sounded like a kid, and a deep voice inside the static. I looked away from the TV, and then I saw something looking at me in the darkness. The eyes looked like someone was high, but the eyes didn't look human, and the pupils were big. Almost like it was covering half of both of the eyes, and then there was a pure red on the opposite sides of the pupils. I couldn't move. Both me and the eyes stare into each other, and then the eyes faded into the darkness. I looked back at the TV, and then it started to show two men talking, and I heard one of the men saying, "We have to cancel the show, nobody watches it anymore." And the other man said, "I will miss this project, and Looney as well. Let's go." I was confused, and then it showed Looney walking again, but the floors were covered in blood, and he had blood stains on his face and sleeves. I heard the laughter again, and it was behind me. I looked at the TV to see the reflection, and then I saw Looney behind me. But he looked like he went to a junkyard or something. His arms started to grow longer. I looked at his eyes, and they were the same non-human eyes that I saw when I looked away from the TV for the first time. I felt something wrapping around my body, then felt a hand touching my head. I looked at the reflection, and then saw one of Looney's arms wrapping around my body, and his hand on my head. I thought, if I turn off the TV, will he disappear? I thought it was a stupid idea, but it was the only choice. I turned off the TV, and Looney also disappeared in thin air. I packed all the VHS tapes and burned it. My mom asked why I was burning it. I responded, it was not as good as I thought. 1 hour later, I was ready to leave, and I said goodbye to my parents. I drove to my new place, and I was pretty tired, so I started to make the bed first. Once I finished, I started to go to sleep, but in the hallway next to my room, I heard a kid with a deep pitch sound laughing.